Hey, what's up, beautiful people? So today's date's 5/24, 2016. The time is, I don't know if y'all can see that, but that says 8. I'm trying to get this right. That says 8:11 p.m. or a.m. My bad. Should see a better angle. I don't know. 8:11 p.m. All right. Today I'm gonna talk to y'all. I guess. I guess I'll start off with a bit about bullying and me. Currently, I'm going through a situation. Currently, I'm dealing with some clowns. These characters that are I'm dealing with are clowns. I have people telling me, or I should say, yeah, there are people out there that tell me I shouldn't care about a child that isn't biologically mine. Those same people, those same people are out and about, running around, ignoring their biological children to take care of somebody else's. To me, that shit is wild. That shit is crazy. But I understand it. I've been bullied a good portion of my life. I was bullied by my mother. I was bullied in the National Guard. My little boy, like my ex, that little boy's mom, my ex, she did her best to bully me. Like a lot of people have actually gone out the way to try and bully me. And the thing is, it's like I was bullied out of that first child's life. Yeah, I was bullied out of his life. I was bullied. I mean, it's just one of those situations where I was bullied by. I don't. I, don't, I was bullied by my mother. I was bullied by my firstborn, my ex-wife, that first child's mother, and I was bullied by the National Guard. I was bullied in the National Guard and by the National Guard, and I should say my unit. While I was in the National Guard. I say I was bullied by the National Guard because I was going through a lot of things down there, a lot of stress. I've said it before, and I know I'll say it again. I'll keep on saying it because that's how the truth works. You talk about it, but I was bullied in the National Guard. There was before it was about six 7 years ago. Yeah, it's like 2009, 2010, 2005. So damn, like 11 years ago. You have to excuse me, man. Dealing with what I deal with, that people just don't want to diagnose because they keep trying to tell me I'm freaking crazy, I'm insane, and I don't have complex post traumatic stress. When I do, I definitely fit the description. I fit the description. Hard body, like it's crazy. But I mean, I'm getting off topic. I digress. I was in the Pennsylvania National Guard, and there was prior to deployment, and my job at the time was communication. Somebody came up and asked me a question. I didn't have the answer to that question, and my section sergeant, she wasn't around. So I called higher. I called battalion level. I talked to their commo people about that piece of equipment. They called me back, gave me the answer. Cool. I relayed that information to the person that asked me, and when my section sergeant came in, I informed her, and she flipped. She was mad as hell that I went and asked somebody else instead of asking her, even though she wasn't there at the time, and like she was going the majority of the day. And it wasn't something that she had mentioned to me as far as what equipment goes where. So I made the call. The same thing I would do. active duty. I did in the guard, and that basically destroyed my life. My section sergeant at the time, she was talking to other people in the section, and I guess it's a joke I had made to one of the people in the section came up, and that joke was, "I'm not supply. I don't have to do supply work. My job is communications." And my section sergeant took that joke that I made to a friend, flipped it, and went around telling people I didn't have to listen to a word she said because I'm not supply. I'm comma. After that, it was a wrap. I didn't have when we deployed to Mississippi. I didn't have my own space to do my work. Shit, I was working out the barracks. I was working. I had all my equipment by my bunk. I had half the shit in the truck, and what I needed ASAP, like the parts I needed right then and there, hand mics and things of that nature, I had right next to me, my bunk. I had right next to me in my bunk, and I put a lot of late nights trying to put in equipment by myself. Nobody could help me. Nobody, you know what I mean? Going to my company commander, my first sergeant, and trying to get that help. It's like, nah, everybody's busy. You gotta do it by yourself, alone. So I did what I could. A couple of people did help me. Respects to them. Shout out, y'all know who you are. But I was by myself. Like, damn, like this shit is so painful. This shit is so painful. The bullshit I went through, the bullshit I seen. Like, I was hoping to get everything off my chest today, but I can't, like, cause to be in a guard and all of that, I think about my firstborn, that little boy I miss. And the thing about him is the thing about the one that reminds me of him, cause I miss him too. And essentially, I'm going through the same bullshit with my ex, which is she owe me money. I asked her for the money. She gonna cut me off. Surround herself with people that have convinced her that I can't do shit. It's kind of like being in a guard, whereas situation happens, truth is distorted. Oh well, you can't do shit. I go to higher. I should say, as I start to stress out and all those emotions, and I actually, it was a day when I was in the guard where I took the rank off. I think that was the 18th of May. I think that's what it was. I think that's definitely what it was. The 18th of May, I take my. I don't know. I'm bad with dates. You know what I mean? People that suffer from with complex post traumatic stress. It's not odd. It's not odd. It's not odd for them. It's not. I mean, fuck it. We suppress our emotions. We suppress those painful memories, that trauma. But getting off topic. But yeah, I'm kind of going through the same thing. Years ago, stress, went to the hospital, and was checked out for the fucking suicidal, put on suicide watch, had a babysitter, and I couldn't go home. And that's the craziest part. I couldn't go home to check on my child. I couldn't go home to check on that child. No, I had to go and hang out with the National Guard and deal with all their bullshit, all their bullying. Active duty. It was explained to me how to run a shop, how to run a company. One person run a company. Okay, you let that company know if they need anything to all their. Don't come looking for me. Do not come looking for me. Go to the top. Go to the tactical operations center. Go over there. Drop off your complaint. I check in there throughout the day. That's how I did it in the freaking active duty. So of course I'm gonna do that same way in the guard, and that was a problem. My company commander would go to battalion meetings, and they would put information out. Battalion Comma would put information out for me, and it wouldn't come back. It wouldn't get to me. Instead of information coming to me, I'd be out and about doing whatever, and I get screamed on. Like, hey, what are you doing? Where you at? You supposed to be doing this, that, and the other thing. Like, hold up. What the hell is you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. After a bunch of times of that happening, then they realize, damn, this really dude don't really know shit. And then to be treated indifferently. To be treated like less than a citizen because of my name and because of my complexion. Because of the shade I am. That's some bullshit. To have people sit there and tell me, oh, well, only you can. It's up to you. Only you. It's up to you whether your tour is hard or not. And it's like, actually, no, dude. It wasn't up to me. I couldn't go home. I couldn't take a hardship tour. I was in there with people that was sitting up like, oh well, telling me why they were the, it was, matter of fact, there was like 3 or 4 people got busted getting high and all of that while being overseas. They lost a rank or two. The E4s dropped down to E2s, E3s. Me, I lost my fucking mind over there because I love my son. As a father, I love my son. I lost my fucking mind. That's the coolest shit in the world. Forgot, so we're taking my glasses off for these. But yeah, that's the coolest shit in the world. I can't. It's like an everyday struggle trying to get compensation for that shit. Cause it's like they're trying to do their best to convince me that it's a pre-existing condition. That, oh well, you were alienated from your mother and you had all that going on from your mom, so we have nothing to do with it. And it's like, nah, dude. I try to explain to them complex post-traumatic stress. That's when it's trauma upon trauma, chronic repetitive stress. Damn near fuck it. Every day I miss my son. Every day I was going through the stress of not knowing anything about my son. Added to that was the bullshit I had to go through dealing with that unit. And that's cool. And then I think about my life now and what I'm dealing with now, and it's like, once again, from my son. And he's not my son because I say he's my son. He's my son because he calls me daddy. When he sees me, daddy. Whenever his mom puts him on the phone to try and punk me out, talk shit to me, it's talk to your father. And he says daddy. And for some odd reason, I'm constantly told I cannot sue her for that emotional distress. And it's like, why not? Why can't I sue her for that emotional stress she puts me through? That I've already been through. That she knows I've been through. And she does it on fucking purpose. Why can't I sue her for that? You just can't. Where's the biological father at? It's like, that dude don't want nothing to do with little man. He been told the mom that shit. He has the biological father, well, I should say, the person she believes to be the biological father, because it's never been a test done. So the person she believes to be the biological father, he don't want nothing to do with the kid. I've had people tell me they see my little man outside by himself. They see Papa outside by himself, playing in the fucking driveway, parking lot, whatever, just playing by himself. And it's like, you know what? I'm gonna have to step back in the street. Not only will I have to step back in the street, but I have to step back in the street with the mindset of some people only respect violence. The pen is mightier than the sword. but some people only respect violence. Some people actually take the time and tell me I'm a punk and I'm a chump because I won't stop what I'm doing, go looking for them to fight them. So that makes me a chump. The same people that sit there and tell me how tough they are and how they're not scared of anything. As soon as I mention, you know what, yo, come through, like, it's no big deal. Oh, you better not call the cops. Like, what if I do? Oh, you can't call cops, you a punk, this, that, and the other thing. It's like, it dawns on me. Those people don't understand the art of war. There are regular actions and there are irregular actions. Regular actions would be, I should say, regular actions to me is like being in the street and doing things legally. I could be in the street, I could raise an army, I could set them up, I could go to war, I could put in that work. That's one thing, that's one aspect of life. Or I could remember that what I do, I do for my little man, for my papa, for my firstborn. I can remember those things. And I can call the cops. I can call the police. I can get them involved. When you combine regular actions with irregular actions, the possibilities are limitless. Because you have more to do with yourself. I started this video to talk about being in a guard. Talk about post-traumatic stress, or complex post-traumatic stress. But I don't know, it's like it's not necessarily in me, but I do this because it must be done. It's not necessarily in me to make videos and then try and get these things off my chest, but they must be done. Somebody has to be big enough, bad enough, bold enough to say, yo, listen, I'm being bullied. I'm being bullied every chance they get. I have an assistant. Well, I have a friend that helps me with my that helps me work on a whole charity organization and everything. And she was seen in the streets yesterday. I know she was seen in the streets because I started getting text messages talking about I'm punk and I'm scared and you know what I mean, I better not call the cops and all this other shit. And it's like, all these tough guys are scared of the police. You can sit back and tell me all these great stories about how you done knock cops out and how you ain't scared of cops and how you known for knocking out cops, but as soon as I mention calling the police, you scared. You're scared. I should say they're scared, and they do their best to flip it on me, like, oh well, you punk, you puss, da da da, and it's like, dude, like, it's not that I'm pussy. I'm sorry, it's not that I'm a puss. Like that I'm scared. It's that I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to hurt anybody. My son told me that he don't want to see me arrested. He don't want to see me in cuffs. And so that means any trouble I may get into, somebody, one of the things where somebody may take a picture and he'll see me in cuffs, and it's like, I know I failed him. I know that I wasn't able to keep that promise to him. Like, Pop, okay, I promise I won't get in no more trouble like that. That means I'll break that promise to him. Whether I'm violent for him or not, I'm still gonna break that promise to him for him to see me in cuffs. I mean, realistically, the clowns that want to harm me, they easy as hell to set up. I mean, they're on that they're from that GED mentality, get every dollar mentality. Art of war. Commanders may wait several years, months, I should say several days, months, years, for a single day of battle. That's called preparation. Yes, I could take the time to prepare. I could take the time to find somebody that does whatever they selling and start feeding them bread. Like, here, go over there, see him. You know, so and so, find out about him, and start buying stuff a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, until he gets comfortable with that person. Then have him think, and then actually come out 50 or $100, just to bring him out of his comfort zone. Have him thinking, I'm going to get that money, I'm going to make that spank, whoop-de-doo. And then he get touched. That's a regular action, because that's street. But those are things I think about. And that's why I say I'm trying not to lose my temper, because I'm starting to think about things of that nature. I'm starting to think about violence. I'm starting to think about being violent. And I'm trying not to. Like, I don't want to lose my temper. I don't want to let the rage out of my chest. That's one of the reasons I do these videos. I make these videos, I talk about it. In case it does happen. In case it does hit that point where this dude this dude crossed that line, they want to do all that extra tough talk, run up on me, and I just get violent. I get violent, things get bloody, and that's that. Like, I make these videos so people can know, like, damn, well, you know, he did make them videos. He was trying to reach out. He did warn us. I should say he did let people know. Because I don't want it to be like last time. I don't want it to be like last time where my brother basically went and told everybody, well, he just went crazy. I don't know what happened. Like, no, you know what happened? You and your boyfriend, now husband, you and that dude was running around thinking y'all was gonna bully me. And that dude tried to public embarrassment. He did his best to bully me in public. Here is Karen's husband and the rest of them. Karen's husband, my nephew's father, and a couple other cats got together. Like, they basically got some people together thinking they were just gonna bully me, pump me like I'm some kind of chump. But they found out, like, nah, it's not him. But like I said, I didn't know at the time my mother was. I'm sorry. I didn't know at the time Karen, my mother, was running around spreading all types of rumors about me, lying about me. My thing is now, like, I tell you myself. You don't have to go ask Jim or Jan or I mean, you don't have to ask Jen. You don't have to ask Jane to talk to Jennifer, to ask Paul to talk to Mike. Like, no, I would tell you myself. That's me. Be without fear. I should say, speak the truth, even if it leads to your death. So as I make these videos, as I post these videos, I mean, mainly I post them on my other page. This dude, this dude space be me, the letter B, M-E. This dude be me. The majority of my videos I post on that page, because I mean, realistically, not everybody can stomach what my life's like. Beanie Siegel said it best. What's your life like? Mine's is real. Everything's signed and sealed. And it's just one of them situations. I don't want to be violent. I'm trying not to lose my temper. Even though I really want to, like, honestly, I really want to just I really just want to just fucking make that call. And to make that call, it's like, yo, who would I call? I had a cousin. Told me he got my back, family, this and that, we family. Anybody mess with him, he'll come up there, yada yada. And I heard from this dude. I ain't heard from this dude since I mentioned my mother setting me up. That's blasphemy. She would never do that. And it's like, nah, dude. I could prove she set me up. I could prove not only. I mean, some of things I could prove she set me up. All I have to do is sit back and if I take the time, what I'm actually going to do at in my next video, what I'm going to do is it's going to be a letter. My father wrote me a letter about that night, about what he thought about that night, and I'm going to read that letter. And in bits and parts of that letter, I'm going to break that letter down and let that alienation that she's done in me, as far as me and my father, be known, be realized. And I don't necessarily I do this for me. I do this for me, but it's on a different level because subliminal in my subconscious subliminal type thoughts. It's I do it for them too. As a victim, you're supposed to break the cycle. You're not supposed to let the cycle keep going. You're supposed to break that shit. So these are my efforts, my attempts to break that cycle. Alright, beautiful people. I'm gonna cut this short before I start rambling because I do have that habit. Today's date, sorry, time. I'll put my glasses on. Telling you what this. Time is 8:36, 2/24/2016. Timestamp, all that. Y'all have a beautiful day. Enjoy yourselves.